everyone, I have just recorded this entire video and it hasn't saved, and I feel like that just is indicative of the levels of frustration that I am just dealing with this whole issue. So in today's video, I want to talk about my experience of using Amazon Vendor Central / Amazon Advantage as was. So recently, Amazon Advantage has merged over into Amazon Vendor Central. And just from the beginning, it has been so many frustrations. And what I wanted to do was be able to sit down and talk to you about how to set up an account with them, how to list an item, how the pricing works, how the system works, all of the different things. But frankly, I have no idea. So what this video is me explaining the frustrations that I faced, and hopefully someone out there has faced the same situation, can help. I mean, or if you work for Amazon, please help, because I have no idea how to fix the issues that I'm facing. And equally, if nothing else, I hope this video just illustrates that we all face these frustrations. Running a small business is really hard, and you know, sometimes you just have to battle to get something to work, and maybe it never will. I don't know, I hope it does. So I guess a good place to start is to explain what Amazon Vendor Central is. So up until now, I have sold my books, my bulk printed books, so where I've ordered hundreds and hundreds of books. I've sold those on Amazon using Amazon Seller Central. And that system is one where you just set up an account and you can sell whatever. I could sell this phone case if I wanted. And when you look at the listing, it will say sold by, so for example, my company, Sartain Publishing Limited, or it might say sold by a small business or whatever. Or you might get a drop-down box where it says see other listings, new and used, and you can see all the different people selling that product, and it will come up with their company names. So those are using Seller Central. Vendor Central, or Amazon Advantage as it was, the idea is that that is the manufacturer of the product, and that the product can be sold saying that it's sold by Amazon. So if it comes up saying sold by Amazon, that's what that is. Now, Vendor Central and Amazon Advantage as it was, you have to apply to get an account. You can't just set one up. You have to actually provide information and have your application accepted. Now, in the UK, for a number of years, you haven't been able to apply for an Advantage account. It's been closed for new UK applications for ages. And I've seen all these people in the US with Advantage accounts and people who had legacy Advantage accounts in the UK, and just thought, oh, that sounds really good. It's a shame I can't do it. And then last year they reopened applications in the UK. So I was like, amazing. And I applied for an account. Now, before I get into all of that, just briefly explain why I might want to do that. So there are some advantages to having a Vendor Central account. One is obviously it says sold by Amazon, but also it means I can use Amazon ads. At the moment I can't for my bulk printed books. Don't know if I want to, but I could. I can't have any A+ content at the moment for my books, whereas I would be able to do that using Vendor Central. I can't have pre-orders on my Seller Central account. I could on Vendor Central. And the pricing structure is different. And in theory, I should make more money, but it depends. But I wanted to see how that would pan out. And overall, I wanted to be able to make a video explaining how it's done and what my opinion of the whole system is, whether it's better than Seller Central or not. So, you know, I was like, even if the experience doesn't go that well, I can make content. I can safely say right now it's not going so well. So rather than a tutorial, you've got me complaining. You're welcome. So yeah, and the Vendor Central account, you have to pay a fee, whereas Seller Central you don't. There's an annual fee. And essentially Amazon buy your books. So they'll raise a purchase order your books from you or whatever you're selling, and you send those to them, and then Amazon sell them. Whereas with Seller Central, you can either distribute yourself or you can send them to Amazon. But basically, Amazon doesn't ask for them. You just give them to Amazon. And if they haven't sold within a year, Amazon will send them back to you at your cost. So yeah, it's a different system. It means that Amazon are actually buying in what they think they can sell. and I would have access to all potentially of these advantageous things. So I applied for an account and I was accepted. Now I think, if I remember rightly, there was an issue in the beginning because I didn't set up my account right away, because I seem to remember I was worried I'd have to pay the fee, and I wasn't ready to do that because I wasn't ready to list my book and various things. I think that was why. This was all last year, but I didn't set up my account right away. And then there was some kind of situation whereby when I went to set it up, the link had expired, and I think I had to contact them and get a new link. I'm pretty sure that that was the situation, but it was a while ago and I don't remember exactly. But then when I actually got into the setting up the account process, so as I say, I think that wasn't straightforward, but once I was in, this was a situation I solved. So if you face this, I have a solution for you. But basically what happened is I filled in all my business details, and then you get to a page where you have to accept some agreements, and I couldn't. The box that I needed, the button that I needed to press just wasn't there. And I tried different browsers, I tried all sorts of things, and I couldn't get any further. And you can't contact customer services, because to contact them, you have to be in your account. And I couldn't get into my account. So it's like, I don't know what to do. So what I ended up doing is I contacted customer services in Amazon Seller Central and said to them, look, I know this isn't you, but can you get a message through to them to fix it? And this took ages because there's all the toing and froing. Whenever you contact Amazon customer services, it's however long until they reply. They do not rush. And then when they reply, they want more information, and then you send them the information, and then they give you an answer that's not right, and then you go back and say, no, that's not right. And then they ask for more information, and it goes round and round and round. So this took weeks, but eventually I got into my account. So top tip, if you can't get into your account, you need customer services, use a different Amazon account. Bet you could probably use your purchasing Amazon account and get a message through. You know, use your KDP account, just a different Amazon account, and ask them to get that message through to the right department. Anyway, I was in and I decided to list Our Living Soils, my most recent book. So my plan was I'll list Soils, see how that goes, because I don't want to put all of my books on there. I'll list Soils, and if everything goes well, I will migrate my other books over. So this is sort of a test. So I put Soils on there, and I wanted to have the pre-orders. So I did it weeks before the book came out. The listing appeared, I had the pre-order button. I was like, this is brilliant. This is exactly what I wanted. I can collect pre-orders, fantastic. And Amazon didn't buy any books. So about 2-3 weeks before the book came out, I contacted customer services and said, you know, pre-orders have been running. I'm sure some people have ordered the book. I've had direct pre-orders, so I would think there'd be some Amazon ones. You haven't ordered any books. I'm concerned that these customers won't get any books. And they came back to me and said, no, us ordering books from you is based on demand and we have no control over it. Basically, it's an algorithm. We will order books when we're ready. So I was like, okay, fine. So then about a week before the book came out, I thought, this is weird because the book's going to come out and they've got no stock at all. So I contacted them and said, look, you know, people will want to be buying this book and they can't. Are you going to order any books? And they said, it's based on an algorithm. It depends on demand. There isn't enough demand yet. So I thought, okay, well, obviously no one's ordered the book, so fine, but it seems weird that there won't be any books available. So I left it. The book was out for a couple of weeks and I contacted them again and I said, look, the book's out and I have orders coming through on my website. I don't understand why you haven't ordered any, because the listing was saying books will be delivered within 3 to 7 months. And I was saying, if that's what that says, no one's going to order it. So you're not going to have any demand. So we're in a catch-22 here. You're never, ever going to order any books from me. So this book will never be available. This doesn't seem right. And I know I can drive sales to you. And they said, it's based on demand, unless there's demand. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, there won't be any demand. And they said, well, the 3 to 7 months is based on our history of your being able to provide books to us. And I was like, yeah, I never have done, so you don't have any history. Anyway, nothing happened. So I thought, okay, I'll order the book. And then there's some demand. We'll see what happens. So I ordered the book. And the second I pressed buy, the availability turned to unavailable. No buy box, can't buy the book, unavailable. So I contacted them and I said, somebody has ordered the book and now the book is unavailable. So there can't be any more demand, but I know that there is one order. You know, there can't be any demand because no one can now buy the book. So what are we going to do here? And they came back and said, no, there haven't been any orders. And I was like, well, I know there has been because it was me that ordered it. So, and they were like, oh, really? And they sort of came back and went, oh, okay. Well, all we can say is that it's based on demand and da, 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 da. And I was like, okay. So I thought, fine, let's go around this another way. So my husband contacted customer services within where we bought the book in our Amazon account and said, well, when am I getting my book? And they said, oh, estimated time is 3 to 7 months. And he said, well, but I want it now. Why is it taking that long? I would like you to sort out me getting my book. And they said, oh, we're really sorry for this customer service issue. And they refunded us our Prime membership. Not the whole thing, but for a certain period of time, they refunded us. And we were like, well, I mean, thanks, but it wasn't really the solution we wanted. So anyway, there was that. I then thought, okay, what I'll do is I will send a box of books to my Seller Central account and those will sell. And then I can say, look, there is demand. So that's what I did. I sent a box of books, I sold them. While all of this is going on, I was contacting customer services and saying, is my account okay? You know, does it work? This doesn't seem right. And they were coming back and saying, yeah, everything's set up fine, absolutely no problem. So as I was about to run out of books on the Seller Central side of things, which sold, funnily enough, I went back to Vendor Central and said, look, you know, you still haven't ordered any books and I know there's demand because I've sold them using my Seller Central account. What are you going to do? And they came back and said, well, you know, we're not going to order any stock from you right now because we have stock. And I said, no, you don't have stock. And they said, yes, we have stock. And they sent me a screenshot. And I said, yeah, you don't have stock. That's Seller Central. So that is being sold by me, Sartain Publishing. That is not sold by Amazon. That's a different account. That has nothing to do with this account. You still have not bought any books. You don't hold any stock. And I know this because it would be me sending it. You have not ever had any stock. And they sort of came back and went, well, you know, our ordering of books is determined by an algorithm. I was like, you say that to me one more time. So I thought, okay, let's just let that stock run out and then I'll talk to them again. So that's what I did. I left it. I contacted them again. And I'd had a little rummage around in my account. So I had actually found that where they'd said there hadn't been any orders, obviously I knew I'd ordered the book, there actually were a number of orders. I found the report with those orders. And I sent them that and I said, there have been orders, there is demand, and these customers are waiting for their book. And that's terrible customer service. And that looks bad on me, it looks bad on you. What are you going to do about this? And they said, well, you know, we don't order any books until there's sufficient demand. And I went, but look, here's demand. So what, you just leave these customers? You're not going to give them any books? Because those can't be fulfilled by my Seller Central account. Those customers cannot receive their books. And I said, unless you order any books, those customers will not receive their books. So there is surely a problem here. No, there's no problem. Your account is fine. So I had a look around and I found two things. One was an agreement that had been rejected. And I do suspect that might be the issue. And I raised it and they said, we don't think it's the issue. And I was like, but it doesn't seem right. Now, I didn't reject this agreement. And I wonder if this was in all the stuff when I was setting up my account. I said, you know, can we fix this? What can be done? You know, is this the problem? 6 weeks, I've been waiting for an answer on that. Don't know if that's the problem. They are waiting for a resolution. Don't know. I also saw that there was a bit in the account setting up, because by the way, there is very limited information on how you set up your account or what it should look like or anything. So I found a tab that says warehouse settings and there were no warehouses. So I contacted them and said, should this have something in it? And they said, yeah. And I was like, okay. So there is a problem with my account. I said, what should be in it? Your warehouse. I was like, okay, I mean, I don't have a warehouse, but fine, I will put my warehouse in there. And so I put all of that in and I said, I've now done that. Do you think that might have been the problem? And they said, well, yes, we can't raise purchase orders unless you have a warehouse listed. And I was like, so when you said my account was fine, it wasn't fine. So anyway, I listed the warehouse and they said, yeah, everything looks fine. So I thought, oh, maybe now I'll get a purchase order. No, nothing. So in the meantime, I've had a number of emails saying, please add this new fulfillment center, and there'll be a fulfillment center listed, to your records. And I thought, well, maybe it's this. So I contacted them and said, is this the problem? Because I've never done anything with these emails. And they said, you shouldn't be receiving those emails. You're not signed up for whatever. And I was like, well, I do. And they said, we want proof. And I sent them proof. And they went, oh, yes, you do need to add that to your records. And I said, all right, how do I do that? How do I add these fulfillment centers? And they sent me details on how to add warehouses into your account. So I went, okay. So I sat down to do that this week. I thought, oh, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed Amazon's warehouses in there. But when you add a warehouse, you have to put contact details. And in their listings of all the fulfillment centers, there are no contact details. So I contacted customer services again. If I have any reputation within Amazon, it's that I'm a complete pain in the bottom. Contacted them again and said, what do I put here? And they said, well, the contact. And I said, but I don't work for Amazon. Who is that? And they were like, well, what do you mean? If you put a warehouse in, you need to know the contact details. And I was like, I do not work for Amazon. I don't know who your contact is at your warehouse. And they said, why are you putting Amazon's warehouses in there? And I said, because you told me to. And they said, no, we didn't. And I said, yes, you did. And sent them the link to where they did. And they went, oh, yeah, we did. That's not right. It's like, so they said, yeah, no, just your warehouse. So I was like, okay, deleted the Amazon ones I put in. I'd only done 3, I think. So, and I'd put my contact details to just be able to save the record. So I was like, yeah, okay, fine. It wasn't that. So deleted those. So at this point, I don't know, I raised a new case saying, what is wrong? Because I actually found someone on the internet saying that once you've listed an item, within 7 to 10 days, you should get a purchase order. And that makes sense, that Amazon would order a couple of books and then see how those sell. And then you go from there in terms of supply and demand. That makes sense to me. So I said, this book has been out now for 2 months and there was a pre-order phase. You have never ordered any books. So what's the problem? Why aren't you ordering them? We know there's demand. Here is the proof. You've told me that my account is all fine, but I have this ongoing issue over a rejected agreement. Is it that? I've set up everything that I can see. The book has demand. I'm selling books every day. And then I did a little, my book is sponsored by Natural England, like, it's so important. And Natural England have been asking why this book is not available on Amazon. And so they want this available. They are a major organisation and they're going to be sending sales here. I know that there are people going to Amazon. You have orders. What's going on? And they said, we will respond to you. Our associates are working on, if they come back and they say their orders are based on demand and an algorithm, I swear to God. So I don't know what to do. If anyone has any idea, if you've ever experienced them not raising purchase orders, please tell me, because at this point, here are my options. Option 1, send another box to Seller Central so the book is just available, and don't worry about Vendor Central. And I'm close to doing this. I think if I haven't got a resolution by next week, I'm just going to send a box. The reason I haven't is because then Vendor Central will go, well, we're not ordering any because we have stock. So that's why I haven't. But what it means is this book is just not available on Amazon, which means I'm losing out, they're losing out, customers are losing out. So that's one option. And obviously this is in like the period of time when my book will sell the most. So it's very frustrating. Option 2, I delete the listing and try and relist it. I don't know if I can. Like, I don't know if I can relist it. I don't know if it's a one-time situation. But if I delete that listing, then those customers who ordered the book will never get the book. Now, I know I'm one of them, but the others are not me. So those customers will, I guess, get an email saying, this book is unavailable and you can't have it. Do I do that? I don't want to, but I could. Do I set up one of my other books on there to see what happens and whether any books are ordered and then I know it's the listing that's wrong? But then I don't want to mess around with my other books at this point because the whole system seems like it doesn't work. So I don't know, that's an option. Do I just close my Vendor Central account and just go forget it? Because I would like to get it to work. I would love to make a video saying I solved it, I know how it works, here's how you avoid it, you know, and be able to share with you really useful information, because I know that lots of people use Vendor Central and I don't know why I can't. So I don't know at this point, and I'm just really fed up because this has been going on for months. I've lost money. I mean, maybe I haven't overall, because I had a Prime membership refunded. I don't know. I don't know. I could say, I don't think I've ever said this on the internet. When I first set up my KDP account, I had some issues when my first book, Milk, came out, and I wasn't getting the answers I wanted. And I'd heard that at the time you could send an email to Jeff Bezos with just a rundown of it, and that if you got copied into an email with a question mark, that meant that had gone out to all the staff for it to be fixed. And I got the question mark email, and I got phoned by executive customer services. It was very exciting. Maybe I need to email Jeff. I might actually do that. I'm going to do it. When I finish filming this, I think I'll email Jeff Bezos just to see. I mean, he's busy, right? I don't really want to talk to him. But maybe you can still get the question mark email. I'm going to try it. I mean, I have repeatedly said, I want a phone call. I had one phone call, and that's rare. My other indie author friends were like, what, Amazon phoned you? Because I just moaned and moaned and moaned until they did. But although on that phone call they said, we see what the issue is, we'll sort it, they haven't sorted it. So I've started doing that again and just saying, I demand a phone call, I demand a phone call, I demand a phone call. Haven't had one. I am that annoying, by the way. If I have a customer service issue, I know a lot of people would have just let it go, but I don't want to let it go because I want to learn from it as well. And I feel like there is a problem here to be solved. And so I'm just really annoying. So sorry if you ever come across me in a customer services capacity, because I am quite irritating. I don't know what to do. If you do know, if you have a solution to this, if you know someone who works at Amazon, I'd love to have a solution. If I do have a solution, if this is fixed, I will put it in the comments. Or maybe even delete the video, I don't know. But I just wanted to make this video saying, this is my experience of Vendor Central. This is all I have to say. I don't really know how to set up an account because mine doesn't work. And I don't really know how to list an item because mine doesn't, you can't buy it. So I don't know. Don't know how to do anything. I don't know if it's advantageous to use it. It doesn't seem like it at the moment. I've got no information to share with you other than it's a pain. And there is no information on the internet. And I think the only other thing I can do, I found a consultant on the internet, and maybe I could book a consultation. I don't really want to do that. Like, I should be able to contact customer services and they should fix it. So I don't really know. And that consultant could just say, yeah, don't know. So, and I've paid good money. I just don't know at this point. And if nothing else, I just want you to know that we all face these frustrations where I think part of the problem is Amazon is such a huge company. And you're obviously talking to customer services people who have maybe a certain area that they know about or a certain script, because I'm getting the same script. And they're not people who are genuinely looking into the problem and trying to fix it. And you just don't get anywhere. And I think, if it was a smaller business, then they would know how it works because it wouldn't be so complicated, or you'd be able to speak to the right people. But with Amazon, you just constantly hit this brick wall. Like, there is no phone number. I'm dealing with an issue with Royal Mail at the moment, and at least there is a phone number and I can speak to someone. I can't speak to anyone. You just hit this one. Well, now I can't do anything. I've sent a case through and that's it, end of the road. So, until I get a response. So it's super frustrating. And I feel like as a customer, when I buy things from Amazon, if I raise a complaint, it's dealt with like that. It's, return the item, or we'll send you a new one, or, they're very quick to deal with it when it's something being bought. And I've had people return my books before, and I see that happen, and, it gets dealt with. So Amazon wouldn't have a business if there weren't people selling things, if we weren't using Amazon, if we didn't recognize it. And I realize that's another option, is just go forget it. Like, I won't sell through Amazon. And ethically, there are kind of other reasons why I might do that. But, I just think for a company that started off selling books, they do not do the best job sometimes. So, and I hate saying negative things, but right now I am not receiving good customer service as someone selling using their platform. I'm not being treated very well, and I could sell a lot of books on Amazon. I could make them a decent amount of money if I had the facilities to do that, and they make plenty of money off of me on Seller Central and through me buying stuff off of them. So it's very frustrating as a customer, as someone who's used them for years, as someone who recognizes their position in terms of starting as a bookseller and all of those things. And I would really just like to get it to work, and then at least I can share with you as well. I feel like I just don't want to let it go, but I might have to. So that's where I am. I don't know. If you know how to fix this, wonderful. Otherwise, as I say, we all face these frustrations, and it's super annoying, and it's part of having a small business. It's those phases where you're just banging your head against a brick wall going, I need you to fix the thing, make the thing work. It's so annoying. So I don't know what this video is other than just sharing my frustrations with you. But I guess it helps to get it off my chest. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all for another video really soon. And I hope that you're not facing too many frustrations. I'll see you all soon. Take care.